Fentuo.
Wasting.
So what happened? What happened yesterday?
What happened to who?
The Black Stars. But before I get to hear from you, let's listen to Chris Hughton. Listen to Chris Hughton after the match.
There are no easy cases. We had a lot of possession, even in the first half. And to change the momentum of the game, we needed to score. Because the longer the game goes, when you don't score, you give Madagascar encouragement. They are playing in front of their home supporters. So at each stage of the game, we needed to score, to change the feeling of the game. We had a lot of possession, but we didn't create enough clear chances. And unless you are able to do this, it's very difficult to win games.
That's Chris Hughton. Fentuo, what happened?
What happened was the Black Stars drew 0-0 in a game that they were expected to win and qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations next year in Cote d'Ivoire. Of course, the job was clear. Ghana needed to win to book early tickets. So far, of course, after the June international window, 14 teams have confirmed participation, their qualification to the tournament. Ghana were hoping to be one of those. And usually this is what the big boys do. They confirm qualification very early, and then they use the remaining period to try, or the remaining games to try and look at other players. And we've talked about wanting to win the AfCON for the longest time. And we were hoping, of course, that because Chris Hughton has not had a lot of time, this is only his third game in charge of his team, that the team would have booked an early qualification, and that the remaining game he would have used that to access a few more players, because we're constantly complaining about lack of quality in certain areas and why certain players shouldn't be playing in the national team. But this lack of qualification obviously means that they will have to put every effort into beating the Central African Republic in September, with the full knowledge from the Central African Republicans that even they themselves, if they can shock the Black Stars here in Ghana, they would book qualification ahead of the Black Stars. So it's a tricky affair. Obviously, yet again, the Black Stars are favourites to go into that game and win and confirm participation at the tournament next year. But crazier things have happened in football, and the expectation is that everybody would have wanted to avoid this kind of situation going into the last game. The last time the Black Stars went into the last game of qualifying without having booked their ticket, I probably don't remember the last time that the Black Stars went into the last game of an AfCON qualifying without confirming participation. So the whole scenario is very disappointing. But if you're being specific on the game itself and this whole qualifying series, Ghana has used 2 coaches. They've played 3 away games and not a single win.
Yeah.
You know, Ghana went away to the Central African Republic. That game was 1-1. The game against Angola was 1-1 as well, and then 0-0 against Madagascar. Now, you talk about the things that have gone wrong so far. And I think one of them, we have to admit, on the specific game of yesterday against Madagascar, few things. One, team selection was a bit of a letdown. And that's where I think Chris Hughton needs to take responsibility. And this is not personal. And that's why sometimes when you speak and you mention certain players' names, people think that you're being personal. But let's say Captain Andre Ayew, for example, in yesterday's game particularly, first of all, Ayew had not played significant football since January. That's 6 months since he moved to England. He's barely had any kind of football to play. Number 2, since Chris Hughton took over, he's not kicked a ball for the national team. On top of that, he struggles for fitness. Now, with the full knowledge that Ghana has struggled for goals in recent matches, and knowing, of course, that the only reason Ghana got that equalizer against Angola was because Chris Hughton was highly praised for being bold enough to make substitutions at critical moments in the game and brought on players that were quicker, that were younger, that were sharper. In Osman Bukari, in Joseph Pinsel, in Ashimeru, they came out against Angola and they entirely changed the game. And after that, we're all full of praise for Chris Hughton for what he did. The expectation for a crucial game of this nature was that you would trust the same core players to do the job. Instead, you're looking for goals against Madagascar, then he benches Kudus, he benches Osman Bukhari, he benches Ashimeru, and then the entire team that he plays yesterday even struggled to string passes together. So first of all, team selection wasn't spot on, in my opinion.
Okay.
And we are the same people that have praised Chris Hughton.
Maybe he underestimated Madagascar.
And that in itself is a problem. You cannot underestimate teams, especially given that you needed to win to qualify. And listen, Ghana are more than capable of beating Madagascar, and that's why people are disappointed. It'd be a shame if anybody thought that Ghana were not capable of beating Madagascar. I think the players that we have may not be the best on the continent, but these players are good enough. What we don't have is a good team. And it's people's job to build a good team. When was the last time, Winston, you actually enjoyed a Black Stars game where they played utterly dominant football? As far as I am concerned, you have to go back to 2017 when we beat Congo away from home, where Partey scored a hat-trick. Alfred Duncan and a free Ekwa, they gave a midfield lecture on that day. Since then, we're just getting by. And that's one of the problems. So team selection yesterday didn't help. Number two, I didn't understand the tactics. And honestly, you talk about him underrating Madagascar. The team selection and even the tactics, the system that he played yesterday, actually suggested the complete opposite. It almost looked like he overrated the Malagasy. Because I've never understood this idea of playing two DMs. Because he played Partey and then he played Salis. Now, this is what you do when you play against maybe some tougher opposition that are expected to have an awful lot of the ball. You don't need two defensive midfielders against Madagascar when you needed a typical number 8, maybe like Ashimeru, to be progressing the ball. We didn't have that.
Maybe he expected Partey to do that.
Well, he didn't. And you realize yesterday, we couldn't even create any consistent build-up patterns. It was so difficult. You understand? So I don't get it. The fullbacks were not overlapping either. And the attackers, Kamaldeen, his decision-making was a big letdown. And there were players
He's always
that
had a
were
problem
on
with
the
decision-making
bench.
in the final
Yes.
third.
So then there were players that were on the bench that had previous performance to justify a place in the team. Even if you didn't start them, there was no reason for Andre Ayew to last as long as he did. Because it was clear from the beginning that he wasn't going right. So I think overall, there was a bit of a letdown from the tactical point of view, from the technical point of view, team selection, the system.
Let me activate the phone lines briefly.
Even the players.
Let me activate the phone lines briefly. We can pick about, say, 4 calls. I'd love to hear from our listeners on what they make of the Black Stars performance. And I'll get back to you shortly. Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo of our Joy Sports team. You can reach us now on 0302-216-541 or 055-1111-997. How do you rate the performance of the Black Stars? Give us a call now and tell us. We'll pick a few of your calls, few of your thoughts. 0302-216-541 and then 055-1111-997. Yes, you're making your point, Fentuo.
Yes, I think one of the biggest problems we have with this team is that we don't have an identity. It's almost like today we play like this, tomorrow we play like that, and it doesn't help. And when I say identity, I'm not talking exactly about us building a tiki-taka style of football. No. But what is our distinct style of play? How do we go about winning games?
Okay, let me get onto the phone lines and pick our first caller. Ajiman Joseph is from Tema Community 9. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle. I hope you're doing well.
God is taking care of us. How about you?
Oh, I'm also enjoying the grace.
Great. How was the performance of the Black Stars yesterday?
For me, I would say it's a disappointing performance. Yes, because tactically, we played tactically. At a point in time, I saw the Ayew being a passenger in the team. And Jordan wasn't getting the support he needed. But Jordan was playing a role that he was disturbing the defenders. So if you want somebody to support Jordan, and you are bringing in Kudus, why won't you take out the Ayew who was tired so that he will be pushing up to supply? You understand? Kamaldeen was making some decisions, either to go in for a killer, to pass the ball, which was very wrong. The Fentuo wasn't getting the day.
All right, thank you very much, Ajiman Joseph. Let's go to Kasua. Baba, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Baba, share your thoughts with us.
A summary of what happened. Indecision. That is the problem of Ghana. Why is it that we are all aware that our captain has not seen any good playing time for the past 6 months? And we cannot even think of bringing him maybe at the latter stages when we are maybe up by 2 or 3 goals, just to give him a warm-up. If we cannot tell him to sit on the bench, then we should not even invite him, or we should just forget about qualifying. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Baba, for joining us. You can also join us 0302-216-541 and then 055-1111-997. How do you rate the Black Stars' performance yesterday? Ben, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Ben.
How are you?
I'm fine. Can you reduce the volume on your radio set and share your thoughts with us?
Okay. I think yesterday the squad appreciation it's a kind of a thing. It's trying to give the privilege to play or convince Daniel that he can still hold the captain. So I think as time goes on, Ayu himself rather will decide that now it's okay to bench me for even 490 minutes. Daniel should understand. So we should give appreciation a time that he can gel the players.
Okay.
Sometimes coaches used to sometimes coaches want spectators to understand that at a point if I bench this player has already proved himself already. So we should give him time.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. Bishop from Asante Mampo is our last caller. Bishop, good morning.
Good morning, Wilson. How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm doing well. Yesterday, I contributed on the sports, what we call yesterday, on this match. I want to add something. You see, the 90 minutes on the field of play, the result that we need will depend on planning. That's the pre-90 minutes. How long did these boys train together? How were they prepared? Enough. Though we take Madagascar as underdogs, but we don't play football like that. Now football is changed. Some weak teams can disgrace those who are living on past glory. And Ghana are living on past glory. The boys are good individually. But if you don't put them together to prepare enough for a game, then, we are just deceiving ourselves.
Okay. Bishop, thank you very, very much for joining us. Fentuo, you have the last word in a minute. We're going.
Yes, I think that we need to, it's a wake-up call. We need to be honest with ourselves and admit that we just don't have a good team. And that AfCON wait might go on for much longer. Because, listen, you can make all the excuses you want. And I've seen people making excuses about the pitch. We have far more horrible pitches here in Ghana than what we saw Madagascar yesterday. And yet, we always sanction football matches here. And they play here every single time. The last time we hosted Angola here, we had a whole show where we discussed the quality of the pitch. So, it's not like our pitches are exactly better anyway. The point is, if you don't have a good team, admit that much and start to build. And I think we have a massive problem moving on from certain players. We need to be bold with team selection, with calling players, okay? Because that is how you build forward. Because you can't be stuck in the past and using past glories to try and circle around certain players. And you see, we're not helping. And I'm not just talking about maybe Andre Ayew or Jordan Ayew or Amate But it's important for us to recognize that the team needs rebuilding and look at the focal points of that rebuild and build forward. We can't take one step back, one step forward, and 2 steps back. And that's what we did in the game against Angola. Listen to this, Winston.
Finally.
In yesterday's, it's the final point. In yesterday's AfCON qualifiers, DR Congo beat Gabon away from home. Nigeria beat Sierra Leone away from home. Algeria beat Uganda away from home. Mali beat Congo away from home. Togo They went away to Eswatini and beat them. Mozambique went to Rwanda and beat them. If any of these countries had gone away and beaten Madagascar, we would say, oh, it's just Madagascar, it's nothing. We've gone there and we've not won.
Thank you very much, Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo.